Vice President Shettima on Monday inaugurated a 37-man tripartite committee on national minimum wage with a mandate to recommend a new national minimum wage for the country. The inauguration of the committee, led by former head of civil service of the Federation, Bukar Aji, took place at the Council Chamber Presidential Villa, State House, Abuja. The Vice President said the event reaffirmed the promise of the Tinubu administration to improve the welfare of Nigerian workers. He urged the committee to fulfill the conditions of genuine dialogue and engage in collective bargaining in good faith. Shettima, who reminded them of the significance of the submission of the report, said President Tinubu had directed the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, to support the committee with the needed logistics to facilitate timely completion of the exercise. He said the decisions would be presented as an executive bill, which would be sent to the National Assembly. According to Transparency International, Nigeria scored 25 out of 100 points in the 2023 Corruption Perception Index, compared to 24 points in the 2022 Corruption Perception Index. While Nigeria ranks 145 out of 180 countries, compared to 150 on the 2022 CPI results. Nigeria's score is below the sub-Saharan African average of 33 points. In this report, Trust TV's Newell Sampson speaks to stakeholders on the 2023 CPI ratings, its impact on Nigeria, and how the war against corruption can be won. Let's take a look at his report.
The Corruption Perception Index ranks 180 countries and territories by their perceived level of public sector corruption, according to experts and business people. It relies on 13 independent data sources and uses a scale of 0 to 100, where 0 is highly corrupt and 100 is very clean. The index has been an annual source of friction between government officials and Transparency International. Although governments often see the index as skewed and biased, it however places a burden on such governments to addressing the menace, even as many question the transparency of the index.
There was a validation from different independent organizations to see the method that being used, and all of them, they have come to conclusion that this is a good methodology to measure public sector corruption.
The sources, that carry out this corruption perception index are credible sources across the world. There are even organizations that Nigeria engages with. We talk about the World Bank, we talk about the World Justice Forum. So these are sources that are credible globally. We talked about the audits that have been done on these sources and confirmed that they are credible sources.
Nigeria has battled with the menace of corruption despite the existence of anti-corruption bodies charged with the responsibility of fighting the menace. This has left many wondering if the corruption can be tamed or it has become part of our everyday lives.
We all have responsibility as Nigerians, but of course the government must provide the leadership, the government must provide the environments for the corruption to be defeated. For example, we have supported government to develop national strategy to fight corruption. That document has not been operationalized. If it has been operationalized, everyone in this country will have a role to play in order to defeat corruption. But we are not making use of that important document where every Nigerian will have a role to play to minimize corruption.
Strength of the civil society and media, that they are able to be given a space to really advocate for transparency and accountability. And so there are efforts that are being made both by state and non-state stakeholders in tackling corruption in Nigeria. It is not a hopeless situation. It is something that will continue to work on.
We have to have strong institutions that will enforce all our laws, our Money Laundering Prohibition Act, you have the ICPC, the CCB. Of course, you have the Conduct Bureau, which if they are working effectively, most of the corruption cases you will not even hear, because they ensure that all asset people declare their assets, before they enter office, and when they leave office, and they do their investigation properly, you find that a lot of this corruption will be prevented.
Corruption increases inequality, decreases popular accountability and political responsiveness, and thus produces rising frustration and hardship among citizens, who are then more likely to accept or even demand hard-handed or illiberal tactics. This is why many believe the menace must be tackled head-on. Well, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And on to security matters. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has implored President Bola Ahmed Tinubu not to shy away from making tough decisions that will help address the rising insecurity in the country. The Speaker stated this on Tuesday during his remarks at the resumption of plenary after Christmas and New Year holidays. The Speaker noted the murder of over 30 people in Plateau State, as well as many others who have fallen victim to the mindless acts of terrorists in the last few weeks. He challenged the president to rise to this occasion and demonstrate the indomitable spirit for which he is known by doing more to safeguard the lives and property of Nigerians.
The time has come to think out of the box and adopt new and contemporary strategies that better respond to the complexities of our current challenges. To our patriotic and brave security forces, while commending your heroism and sacrifice, the time has come for you to review your approaches and strategies, innovate and adapt. The enemy evolves, and so must we. I challenge you to rise to this occasion to demonstrate the indomitable spirit for which you are known, and to do more in safeguarding the lives and properties of our people. In these trying times, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has exhibited exemplary leadership and a proactive approach. His recent interventions and directives for more action by security agencies are timely and reflective of his deep-seated resolve to restore peace and order.
And now more on security and now to Katsina State. Governor Diko Umaru Rada of Katsina State on Monday received 35 individuals who were recently rescued from the clutches of armed bandits in Tashar, Nagule and Nahuta, Basari local government area of the state. Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Ibrahim Kaula Mohammed, who stated this in a press release, said it was as a result of the commendable rescue efforts by security agencies and the governor's unwavering commitment to combating insecurity in the state. According to the statement, the Nigerian Army, under the command of Brigadier General A.O. Fadero, successfully carried out the operation and handed over the rescued civilians to Governor Rada at the Katsina State Government House. Governor Rada commended the absence of casualties among both the security operatives and the rescued individuals, and announced initiatives by the Katsina State government, including free medical assistance for bandit attack victims, allowances for security agencies, and educational support for those who lost parents during terrorist attacks. Earlier, Brigadier General Fadero, while briefing the governor on the rescue operation, stated that the victims were freed from Dumburum Forest after a fierce gun battle between soldiers and the bandits. Still on insecurity, the death toll from the attack by armed invaders on rural communities of Agatu local government area in Benue State has risen to 10. 8 were reportedly killed after the armed invasion on Saturday, which led to more villagers fleeing from their abodes. Some villagers said the death toll could be more than 10 as search parties were still looking for missing persons as of Monday afternoon. But the member representing Agati constituency in the State House of Assembly, Godwin Edo, put the figure at 10. The police public relations officer, SP Catherine Anene, said she was yet to be briefed on the incident. The Nigerian Army says its troops have rescued 32 kidnapped victims during a search and rescue operation in Katsina State. The information officer of Operation Hadarin Daji, Yahya Ibrahim, in a statement on Tuesday, disclosed that The troops also killed 2 suspected terrorists during the operation on Saturday. Ibrahim stated that the troops engaged the terrorists in a gun duel at some identified terrorist camps at the Burum Forest, which led to the death of 2 suspected terrorists while others fled with injuries. He added that the rescued kidnapped victims, including 19 male adults, 12 female adults, and 4 children, were handed over to the Katsina State government by the commander, 17th Brigade Nigerian Army and Sector 2 Operation Hadarin Daji, Brigadier General O.A. Fadero. Fadero pledged to continue the attack on terrorist enclaves. We move over now to Ogun State, where the police command on Tuesday confirmed that one Olumide Okpenaike, a staff member of a microfinance bank, reported to have been missing and found in Mokwa, Niger State, staged his abduction following a 1.7 million naira debt. The spokesperson of the State Police Command, SP Omolola Odutola, confirmed this on Tuesday. The wife of the banker, Temitokwe, had told journalists how her husband, Olumide, went missing on January 17 on his way to work. Temitokwe had, however, on Thursday announced that her husband has been found in a place called Mokwa in Niger State. The police have, however, described the reported abduction of the banker as fake. Confirming the incident, Odutola said the police found out that the banker, Olumide Okpenaike, faked his abduction due to a 1.7 million naira debt he owed the bank where he works. He said a customer was remitting the money to the bank, but Okpenaike was diverting it to his personal use. Odutola added that the accused, who is now in detention, then got depressed and decided to fake his abduction. And now to the FCT. An unprecedented hike in fees for Abuja-based private schools is imminent following the decision of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, to increase operation charges of private schools in the capital city. Under the new tax regime, each school will be billed according to tuition paid by students and the number of enrollments. A memo by the head of account, Department of Quality Assurance of the Education Secretariat, Modi Mohammed, on Monday, said the development would take effect from January 2024. Meanwhile, the National Association of Private School Owners in the FCT, in a letter written to the Education Secretariat, noted that such a tax review at a time when the federal government had promised to eliminate multiple taxes would only increase the cost of education beyond the reach of many parents, thus adding to the population of out-of-school children. The Independent National Electoral Commission in Delta State has expressed its readiness for the conduct of the by-election in the state. The INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner, Monday Udo Tom, disclosed this in an interview with Trust TV in Asaba, the Delta State capital, on Monday. According to him, the by-election slated for February 3 would hold in Ethiopia West and Burutu 1 constituencies.
Right now, what we're waiting for is the sensitive materials that will come from Abuja, and maybe we'll take it to the central bank, or we brought here straight, then we'll distribute them to the 2 LGS for the election. So far, so good. The parties have been going on their campaigns. We have not issue of any incidents in the campaigning. So we hope there's going to be a peaceful election. The rural election, we are still going with what we already had, the Beavers and IREF, and a portal for viewing of elections. Elections at the end of the day, and it's real time. Real time means that until the process is ready and the result is ready, you can watch it. You cannot watch it when the result is not ready. So by the time election closes by 2:30 p.m., there's sorting and counting and declaration.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break and in part 2. FRC vehicle involved in hit and run after high-speed chase. We'll bring you details of this story and more to come after the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thank you most kindly for staying. But if you're just joining us, this is a Trust TV News update at this hour. Now let's take a look at a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that Vice President Shettima inaugurates minimum wage tripartite committee in Abuja. And Nigeria doing better in the fight against corruption according to latest ranking. Moving on to more news. Governor Dauda Lawal has declared a state of emergency in the health sector of Zamfara with a commitment to revamping the state's healthcare system. In a statewide broadcast on Tuesday, the governor lamented the disturbing conditions of the hospitals across Zamfara. The declaration came after his unscheduled visit to Gusau General Hospital in the state capital. According to him, the hospitals urgently needed intervention due to the poor state of facilities, equipment, and workers. Governor Lawal expressed concern over the poor conditions that patients were experiencing in hospitals and highlighted areas of intervention by his administration. And to the Federal Capital Territory, a man and his pregnant wife, have survived a near-death experience when a federal road safety official vehicle rammed into their car in Abuja during a high-speed chase. The Tuesday morning incident drew crowds who faulted the conduct of the road safety officials for high-handedness.
I was coming with my wife this morning, then road safety are always on this road, so there was a car in front of me that was a red car, but I don't remember the brand of the car, was in front of me. We were trying to stop the car, then the car moved. So because the road safety driver has already moved his car already like this, so the momentum he had on him already, he could not press the brake. So me that I was behind the car, he hit my car, so that was how he hit my car. Me and my wife came here, head bags. My wife hit her head on, she's pregnant, she's like 7 months gone. So I was just lucky that she's going to the hospital. So they hit us. All my car, everything has been scattered. My engine, everything is gone. My glass, everything is scattered.
So what are the road safety about it now?
They were about to run away. Luckily for somebody, this man that had a Hilux car that blocked them.
The man was coming with speed. I don't know what really happened actually. So the man, I saw, but all I saw, that road safety hit this man from the side like this. It's coming from this way. He hit him from the side. So when he hit him, I find out that they want to start. All of them enter inside their vehicle. They want to start. They want to turn and go back to say. So I have to use my truck to block them. This truck, yeah, that Tacoma there. Okay. So I use that Tacoma there to block them, to block the distance. So that's what I saw. Then when I came out, when I dragged this woman out, I found that, yeah, I saw the woman heavily pregnant, one heavily pregnant woman. So I think it's the woman that hit her head here.
In business, consumers in December 2023 experienced a spike in the average retail price of kerosene, reaching 1,362.27 naira per litre nationwide. This marked a 5.84% increase compared to the 1,287.10 naira recorded in November 2023. The latest report of the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics obtained on Tuesday indicates that on a year-on-year basis, this surge amounted to 23.33%, climbing from 1,104.61 naira in December 2022. In an in-depth state analysis unveiled a disparity in prices across the nation. NBS noted Abuja led the pack with the highest average price per litre at 1,650 naira, closely trailed by Ogun at 1,609.52 naira and Benue at 1,594.44 naira. Conversely, Kwara emerged with the lowest price recorded at 917.14 naira, followed by Rivers with 969.70 naira and Nasarawa with 1,071.43 kobo. NBS further examination based on geographical zones disclosed that the Southwest experienced the highest average retail price per litre of household kerosene, reaching 1,455.21 naira. The Northwest followed closely at 1,420.48 naira, while the Southeast recorded the lowest at 1,264.49 naira. Still in business, the naira fell to an all-time low of 1,348.63 naira per dollar on the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market on Monday. This signifies a 51.21% fall from the 891.19 naira per dollar. The national currency closed last Friday at the official market, according to data from the FMDQ Securities Exchange. Monday's official rate is the worst official exchange rate the country has recorded since the Central Bank of Nigeria floated the national currency in June 2023. This steep depreciation of the naira against the dollar is defying efforts by the Central Bank of Nigeria and federal government to boost liquidity in the foreign exchange market. The national currency is also not faring better on the parallel window of the foreign exchange market. According to Bureau de Change operators, the naira further fell to 1,450 naira per dollar as of the end of trading on Monday. We'll take it away from Nigeria now. Former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has been sentenced to 10 years in jail for allegedly leaking state secrets. Khan, who was ousted by his opponents as PM in 2022, is already serving a 3-year jail term after being convicted of corruption. He has called all the charges against him politically motivated. The conviction under the Secrets Act comes the week before general elections in which he is barred from standing. Former Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi, Vice Chairman of Imran Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party, was also sentenced to 10 years in prison by the special court set up inside Adiala jail in Rawalpindi, where both men are being held. The so-called cipher case revolves around the alleged leaking of secret diplomatic correspondence sent by Pakistan's ambassador in Washington to Islamabad when Khan was Prime Minister. And in sports, former world indoor champion Dwayne Chambers is set to race in the 60-meter at the UK Indoor Championships at the age of 45. Chambers qualified for February's event by running 6.81 seconds at a meet in Lee Valley earlier this year. He was banned for doping in 2004, but returned to the sport in 2006 and won the 60-meter world indoor title in 2010. The qualifying time for the World Indoor Championships, which takes place in Glasgow in March, is 6.58 seconds. Chambers, who last ran for Great Britain in 2014, attempted to break into American football twice during his 2-year doping ban and again in 2007 before an unsuccessful trial spell at rugby league club Castleford Tigers in 2008. He took gold at the World Indoors in Doha in 2010 and bronze 2 years later in Istanbul. He officially retired in July 2017, but also ran in the British Indoor 60 meters championships in 2019, only to be disqualified for a false start in semi-finals. That brings us to the end of the news update at this hour. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thanks for your time.